Talk a little bit your vibrant hair. Hopefully you have beautiful, healthy hair as you watch us this morning. But for so many people, men and women, hair loss becomes a very real problem, especially as we age, maybe go through some stressful times. So we're happy this morning to have Doctors Abby Russell, Victoria Collier. They are with Galen Dermatology in Hickson. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
I guess we do typically, in the past anyway, thought about hair loss as being a problem for men, but it hits women too, right?
Mm-hmm.
It does, and it can affect men and women, and there are many different types of hair loss too. There's some that is not permanent, and then there can be permanent types of hair loss. So if it's something you're experiencing, then we can help you.
So, okay, when people come to you, let's make it a woman, and let's just say it's a 38-year-old woman, and she comes to you and begins, I guess, to describe what her hair loss looks like. Are you listening for some key things like stress, maybe some nutrition issues? Does it always begin with a thought that it's chronic, or more like it could be almost situational?
Self-limited, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. We like to spend a lot of time because hair loss is so multifaceted. There's so many types, but yeah, there are some trigger words. I mean, you can have episodes of acute hair shedding, and a lot of times those will be about 3 months after a stressful event, surgery, virus, pregnancy being a huge one. So those are going to go away on their own, but then there are also things that make us think this is a more chronic process, and a lot of that's going to be how it looks on physical exam. Did your parents lose their hair really early? So we like to look at a lot of different causes, and then there's a lot of rare causes of hair loss too that we may need a biopsy or just a closer look on physical exam to see about.
Does the type of shampoo you use affect your hair loss? Sometimes
it can. In fact, there's some shampoos that might be a little bit more helpful to use if you're experiencing hair loss. One that's over the counter is like a ketoconazole shampoo. If you're experiencing a certain type of hair loss, that can be helpful. Although I think it is helpful to get some answers about what type of hair loss you're experiencing.
So what are the types? What are the types of hair loss? I think of like alopecia maybe, but what are the others?
Yeah, so alopecia is the general medical term for hair loss, and then we kind of branch down into different types. So androgenetic alopecia, or female or male pattern hair loss, is going to be by far the most common. That's kind of the age-related type that will start at the top of your head. We do see some that are more autoimmune. Those are called alopecia areata. There's the acute episode that I mentioned, which is called telogen effluvium. And there are truly a lot of other types that are more rare, but you know, they definitely take a good exam and a good talk with you to know what's going on.
Is it expected that we're going to lose a little bit of hair every day? Like when you brush your hair, you should have some strands that come out?
Yes, it's normal to lose hair every single day. That's part of the process. Our hair is always growing, resting, and then shedding. And then sometimes in those stressful periods, you can notice a larger amount is put into the shedding phase. That is also not permanent, but it can be really distressing for people.
Okay, so that 38-year-old woman we were just referencing has come to you, and y'all have had your conversation, and you're kind of hearing these buzzwords. Are you going to then look at her scalp in the office that day, and what are you kind of looking for?
Yes, yeah, we always need to do a really good scalp exam in the office. So we'll look at the areas where the hair loss is happening. Is it kind of all over? Some people will have actually discrete spots. Is it more in the front, more at the vertex or the crown? We do have tools that can help aid us. So this is something, if you've been to the dermatologist, we'll look at your skin with this and look at moles, but we can also look at your hair with this, the hair shaft with this.
The magnifying glass, basically?
Yeah, it's called a dermatoscope, and so it is polarized, but it is a magnifying glass as well. So yeah, it really helps us get a good look.
Now you brought this Nutrafol with you. Y'all sell it there, I think, in your office in Hickson, but you like this product. We see it advertised on TV. Why do you like it so much?
Because, as Dr. Collier mentioned, it can be a multifactorial process. I think it's helpful to support your hair growth from the inside out, as well as some things we might do topically. So it's just been one that has been research backed, and so we feel comfortable recommending it and carrying it at our office.
So you mentioned kind of from the inside out. Will people come to you and maybe leave with like some recommendations for nutrition enhancements or anything like that?
We do focus on that as well, and there definitely are people who will check some blood work on how does their vitamin D look, is their thyroid functioning, how is their iron store, their ferritin levels. Those people, we get some good lab data and we can kind of make specific recommendations about their diet. In general, nobody's eating enough protein, so we always are going to say eat more protein. You know, you want to eat close to a gram of protein per kilogram of your body weight, which that's a lot of protein in one day.
Well, and you know, too, I would imagine just getting enough calories is important too, right? Does that feed your hair?
Oh yeah.
Go ahead, you're going to say something.
I was just going to agree.
Okay. In terms of how quickly your hair begins to grow back, I mean, I'm sure that's a real concern for your patients when they come in. When you finally find the sweet spot of how to attack it, does it happen fairly quickly, the regrowth, or do you have to be patient?
You have to be patient because it's kind of like watching grass grow. If you just sit there and watch it, it's going to feel like nothing's happening. That's why we may not see you for 3 or 6 months after that initial visit, but that gives us that amount of time to really see how the products are working.
So maybe that's good to know too, because if you are suspecting something, go ahead and get in quickly, because you don't want to let it get out of control and then you're really stuck.
Yeah, and I do want to mention that a lot of hair loss we do have very good prescription treatments for. So definitely we like this as a supplement and it can be good for people, but seeing a board certified dermatologist, we have a lot of options, some prescriptions, some not, and we can tailor what's best for you because it's not one size fits all.
Yeah, I mean, your scalp is almost like your fingerprint. I mean, it's very, very individualized. So you do have to customize the treatment for each individual patient.
Yes.
So the great thing is for you, they are accepting new patients at their Hickson location. It's Galen Dermatology. Here is their phone number, 954-9017, and then of course the website. You're going to be asking for either Dr. Collier or Dr. Russell. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.